based on what I've been seeing in the live streams lately, this could be an interesting topic.
Go, Spurs, go, 'cause the Giants stink.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. What a loss last night to the Pelicans with arguably one of our worst halves or worst half of the years. We got obliterated in the second half. That being said, I've been thinking about the season, and I know there's a lot of Spurs fans that are in the trade Keldon category, the trade Devin category. There's those of you that are in the get rid of both or trade everybody but White Castle or just trade everybody. That being said, the focus of this video is I don't see both players being on the team next season. I'm going to give my pros and cons for each player, talk a little about, why I think one of them should go. But I wanted to get your thoughts. If one of these players had to be traded in the offseason, which one and why? Let's jump into their stats, and of course I'll give my thoughts at the end. Let's start off with Keldon Johnson. These are his career stats right here. I know I put the heads there. I could have did that a little better. Anyway, the case to keep Keldon Johnson seems to be a team guy. 2 years ago, he was the guy. Last season, he was a starter and then was sent to the bench. And I haven't heard any complaining anywhere about what role he's had on the team. Seemed to accept what he has given. He also gave his number away to Chris Paul, which didn't have to do that. But again, being a team guy, he did. He's a spark plug off the bench. One of those energy guys. You guys always joke Keldon Johnson's line tonight, 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 yells. Okay, working on a triple-double of sorts. He's also one of those heart of the team guys. And he seems to be a community guy. I always see things posted about, charitable acts. Seems to love Texas. Has embraced Texas, wearing the cowboy hat. And also, last but not least, a reason to keep Keldon, he's on a team-friendly contract. His contract has been decreasing, and next season and the following season, he'll be making $17.5 million each a year. Now, that being said, there are cases to trade Keldon. He's not a good defender. Consistently inconsistent, and he does play hero ball at the times where he just tries to do a little bit too much. So those are the 3 reasons I think we should trade. There's other reasons to keep or trade, and by all means, you'll drop in the comments below. I can only put so many and pull out so many in my head in limited time. So that's what I got to say about Keldon Johnson. Up next, Devin Vassell. And there are reasons to keep Devin. He can create his own shot. Whether it's better for the worse, because he does take difficult shots at time, and he's got a defender to drape on him, he does create his own shot. And he's usually a good 3-point shooter. He's struggling this year. Actually, this year I think he's having his worst season, percentage-wise from 3-point land. And he's a lottery pick. You generally don't want to give up on lottery picks too early. That being said, he is in his 5th year, so have we seen his ceiling? I don't think so. The last 2 years show us otherwise, but then again, maybe the injuries have taken away some of his abilities, and that's where we go into the case to trade Devin. He is a bit injury-prone, and then he's not a good defender, consistently inconsistent, and hero ball. Those 3 sound a little familiar, and that's the main reason why I'm doing this video, is I just see a little few too many consistencies in both their games where I don't think they can continue to coexist on this roster. And then last but not least, may have been overpay on his contract. The next 4 years, Devin is making, of course, some of you will be saying, TSR, not a may overpay. You're being nice. It is an overpay. Next 4 years, 27, 27, 24, 27. Of course, those numbers are in millions. And they're probably going to be a little biased in this video. I am a Keldon Johnson fan. But I also want what's best for the team. And there's also going to be possibly some recency bias because both players are headed in opposite directions over the last few games. Keldon Johnson, over his last 3 games, has turned into the player off the bench I've been hoping for all year. We've seen it in little bits here and there, but his 3-game stretch he's on right now might be one of, if not the best stretch of his career. Over the last 3 games, 20 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, but look at his shooting splits, and yes, the free throw percentage could be better. 77, excuse me, I'm getting choked up. That's how good he's been playing. He's literally on NBA Jam on fire right now. 77% from the field and 63 from 3. Granted, he's not taking a lot of 3-pointers, but 77 over the last 3 games, averaging 20 points per game, is ridiculous. He is scoring at will in the paint, and just watching him, I'm like, where has this been all season? Yeah, we've seen it in 1 game here, 1 game there, but now we're seeing it in multiple games. He's turning into the irresistible force, any movable object right in front of us on the court. And I'm like, Keldon, this performance, this play right now, this is 6-man-of-the-year type performance that you're putting out there. If he continues playing like this, then he's going to be the 6th man that we need. Or if they're going to trade Keldon, and he keeps playing like this, for those of you that want to move him, this is going to increase his trade value exponentially. As far as trade value, somebody's trade value appears to be going down right now, and this is the other player. Devin, the last 5 games. And I swear, I've done this before, and I hate the fact that Devin this season has been one of those 4 or 5 games he plays well, and then 5 games he just ain't him. And right now, he's in the ain't him. Last 5 games, under 8 points per game, 2 boards, 1 assist. Shooting splits of 28, 16, and 100. And a lot of Spurs fans are going to look at his contract and see he's making $29 million this year and look at that performance and be like, dude, it's frustrating. He is better than this. Maybe he's struggling playing small forward, playing the 3 spot. I don't know. I think a lot of this is since De'Aaron Fox has come here. But for whatever reason, his season has just been a roller coaster where there's 4 or 5 games of you're looking great, and then 4 or 5 games of this, and you're like, I can't take it anymore. So let me go ahead and bring up their lifetime stats because they're actually a little similar. Yes, Keldon's played more games. Minute-wise, not too far off. Points per game in the ballpark. Rebounds, Keldon has the advantage there. He plays the 3. Devin has the assist advantage. He plays the 2. But they're shooting splits. And granted, the way they score, Spurs fans, is, by the way, did I mention it? Keldon on the left, Devin on the right. Sorry if I didn't. My brain's running 100 miles an hour. Their shooting splits are not too far off. They score in different ways. Keldon's going to shoot 3 or he's going to score in the paint, and there ain't a heck of a lot much in between it. Where Devin's going to do a lot more pull-up jumping, spot-up jumping, jumping with a defender, jump shots, whatever. He's a lot more jump shot, whereas Keldon a lot more attack the rim. But otherwise, percentage-wise, it's not too far off. And then the 3 things I mentioned earlier. Not great defenders, consistently inconsistent, and we see hero ball at times. And those 3 factors that are really, maybe I'm misreading things, but I really see those similarities between the 2 players. And I just don't think the roster can function that way moving forward, where you have 2 players kind of with that hero ball mentality with, and 2 guys that aren't great defenders. And then just the amazing inconsistency between the 2. Just, I don't see it working. I think one of these players can get traded in the offseason. If I had to move on from one, who am I moving on from? It's going to shock nobody. It's going to be Devin Vassell. Not because I'm a Keldon Johnson fan. 2 big reasons. I think he still probably has a little more, unless if Devin plays the rest of the season like this, just up and down with mostly down, and Keldon keeps just killing it, Keldon's going to have more trade value. But at this moment in time, with Devin being a little younger, I think he might have a little bit more trade value. He is a starter. Keldon's a bench player, but also the contract. And that's where the big stickler here is the contract. He's making about $10 more million a year than Keldon. If these contracts were reversed, if Keldon was the guy getting about $27 million a year and Devin was getting 17, I would say trade Keldon Johnson. I'd be like, you know what? We're getting about the same performance out of both of them. Let's get rid of the guy that's making more money. And in this case, Devin Vassell's the guy making more money. I'm ready to move on from Devin. I hope this video does not age well and Devin turns his season around like now, because this is hard to watch. It's hard to watch. Keldon, I can't see him continuing this blistering shooting. That's not going to continue where he's shooting 75+% from the field. But if he can, have performances like he has been doing, throwing out 15 to 20 a night and keep being an efficient scorer off the bench, then I'm at a loss for words. I'm thinking about last night's loss. I'm sorry. I just started thinking about last night's loss, and it's driving me crazy. I know that winning games at this point doesn't make a lot of sense. We're not going to make the plan. Resting De'Aaron Fox makes sense. The news of Coach Pop being out for the rest of the year. Maybe, who knows if and when he'll come back, at least in a coaching role. I see him coming back in a front office role, coaching, a giant question mark. But seeing just the inconsistency between Devin is frustrating. And maybe the Spurs keep both in the offseason and both guys play much better next season. Or have we seen the ceiling for both guys? I think we probably have seen the ceiling with Keldon when he averaged about, 22 points a game the year before Wemby. Devin, I thought, was going to have a higher ceiling. His points per game have gone up, I believe, every year of his career until this year. Now they've dropped substantially from 19 something to 15 something. That's a pretty big drop of production. So Devin, you're the one that I would trade, but I sincerely hope, one, we don't have to do any videos about either getting traded. I hope they both play so well that they're Spurs for life. But if one has to go, at this point, I'm moving on from Devin. So drop a comment down below. Do you agree, disagree? Why? What are your thoughts? What do you see about Keldon that would want you to keep him here? What do you see with Devin that make you want to keep him here? Or if you're ready to trade one or both, what reason do you think why do you think we should move on? Besides what I've, of course, already maybe gone over. That's all I got. Hit the thumbs up, like, support the channel, and become official sponsor of TSR Sports. Hey, appreciate you. And subscribe and become part of our awesome sports community. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs go.
Go Spurs go, 'cause the Giants stink.